we got to talk about what I know y'all showed up here to talk about, okay? It starts with the word high and ends with the word man, okay? Okay? We got to talk about who are the best players to never win the Heisman Trophy, okay? All right. I put this out because I was kind of interested in it at the time for reasons that have been scuttled, but I still think that it is an interesting topic. And it gave me a way to get back into We Out You. And I like We Out You. I like hearing what y'all have to say and what y'all think is important. Every once in a while, y'all make a good point. It ain't all the time, but sometimes y'all make a good point. Okay, so I'm going to give you my top 5 players who could have won, should have won the Heisman, or, at the very least, won it as like a career achievement award. Okay, so starting number 5, going to number 1. At number 5, I got Vince Young, okay, 2005. You'll note, I included Vince Young on my list of the 10 best college football players of all time from last summer, okay? Might not be the last time that I refer to this, but he's there, man. It's not just that he's the best Longhorn in Texas football history for reasons that you all know, right? He beat perhaps the greatest USC team of my lifetime in the Rose Bowl, and mostly by his doggone self. He passed for 267 yards and rushed for 200 in a game that Reggie Bush was supposed to dominate. Yeah, I said it. He also became the first player ever to pass for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in a season, making history. Okay? That also means for me, he's a better football player than both Kyler Murray and Earl Campbell. Yeah, I said it, old heads. Fight me. And then, of course, Colt McCoy, I think, is somewhere back toward, 76 on this list of people that probably should have won the Heisman, because I'm not into QB wins is not really a win stat if you lost games. If you lost a game, don't talk to me. If you're Kyler Murray and you went undefeated through high school, that matters. Okay? That matters to me. You never lost. That matters. You go 42-1, I need to talk about that one. All right? So that's number 5. Also, just Texas hasn't won a national championship since. Hadn't won a national championship 35 years. That counts for something because, frankly, Clemson has doubled up Texas, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Number 4 on the list, I got Andrew Luck, particularly that 2011 season. Not the 2010 season because that's Cam Newton. Ain't nothing you can do about that, Andrew. I'm sorry about you. That's the greatest college football player of all time. But in 2011, that dude was operating on something different, right? Now, this bore out in his NFL career, but it bears saying. He called his own plays as a senior. Again, no offensive coordinator. Him going through a playbook of 250 plays for the entirety of the season. What is most remarkable about that is that his player selection was outstanding. Stanford led the entire FBS in the least amount of negative plays from the offense. He had them in good plays more than other professional offensive coordinators did in 2011. Also added this. Cardinal went 11-1 that year. They were ranked number 4 going into their BCS championship game. That was the second BCS game that they'd played in 2 years. He threw 26 of his 37 TDs in the red zone without a single interception, the only quarterback that could say so in 2011. And yeah, passed for 3,500 yards, 71% completion percentage, and a near 4-to-1 TD to INT ratio. He just happened to come up against RG3 in a year in which RG3 was on another level, right? There's a reason why that dude ended up on the cover of NCAA and Andrew Luck did not. Okay. At number 3 on the list, remember I said we are going to mention Clemson? This is the part where we mention Clemson. Trevor Lawrence, okay? The thing about Trevor Lawrence that I always think is most interesting is he's able to do all of this and nobody's ever looking at him, okay? 66% completion percentage for more than 10,000 yards, 90 touchdowns, 17 picks, with a passer efficiency rating of 164.3. Just outstanding in his 3 years at Clemson, okay? He is the passing efficiency record holder in the ACC, breaking a record that was once held by a Heisman Trophy winner. There you go. And for the most part, right, was outstanding as a quarterback. 2 losses in his career, right? I mean, dude's playing in national championships. He has the most definitive win against Nick Saban ever, putting up 44. against Alabama in a year where we thought Alabama might stomp out Clemson, and Clemson becomes the first team to go 15-0 in a season, right? It just sucks for him because Baker Mayfield was on one in 2018 and Joe Burrow was on one in 2019, and they just were not going to give Trevor Lawrence the Heisman Trophy in 2017, right? You know, it's just kind of sucks. Or I should say Kyler Murray was on one in 2018. Baker was on one in 2017. I get him confused. You understand? Oklahoma got 7 of these, and sometimes I get confused with how many Heisman trophies my favorite team has. It happens. Okay, number 2 on this list, Ndamukong Suh, right? A defensive player that won AP Player of the Year. I could stop there, right? Because one of the things that college football media hates doing is rewarding defense. Absolutely hates it. But in 2009, they made an egregious mistake voting for the Heisman Trophy winner. Everybody knows it. Mark Ingram, hand your trophy to Ndamukong Suh. All right? Before 09, okay, let's just take it back to 08. He's playing in the Gator Bowl, 2008. Clemson is in their first year with Dabo Swinney, okay? Dabo wants to know why his offensive line cannot block this dude named Suh. An offensive lineman told Dabo Swinney straight up, Coach, we're not blocking him today. And he's like, what do you mean we're not blocking him today? I mean, we're not letting him do anything. He's doing whatever he wants because he's that good. And then Dabo watched the 2009 season and said, see, this is what we had to deal with. See this? Look, the Huskers have won 3 Heisman trophies. And I can make a great argument that their best player in the history of one of the greatest programs of all time hasn't won the Heisman, didn't win the Heisman, okay? In 2008, he led the team with 76 tackles from defensive tackle. First defensive lineman to do that at Nebraska since 73, okay? But my favorite story is that Ndamukong Suh once picked up a flag for a sack of Nick Florence against Baylor. Like, that's it. Like, Bo Pelini went up to the ref, said, what's the flag for? And the ref said, it was a legal tackle, nothing dirty, but he tackled him too hard. Get out of here. Of course, then there's the 2009 Big 12 championship, which is one of my favorite Big 12 championships because Ndamukong Suh was absolutely dumping Texas on its head. In particular, Colt McCoy, the aforementioned Colt McCoy. 12 tackles to lead the team in that game, 4.5 sacks, all against the Texas offensive line that, hey, we're all conference performers. Also, put a nail in the absolute coffin of a Texas team playing for a national championship, really giving us something to go. I was like, man, ain't no way that Texas should be in this. And they put Texas in that game. And then Colt McCoy got dunked on his head once again. Gary Gilbert got dunked on his head once again. You know, them's the breaks, dog. Them's the breaks, Texas. Sometimes you just ain't that good. Other times you run up against this train called Ndamukong Suh, and he puts you on your face. Happens. All right, number 1 on the list, my man, Jim Brown. You don't mess around with Jim Brown. Like, shout out to producer Cat who found footage of Jim Brown playing at Syracuse. Like, I've never seen this before, so I was thrilled by this, right? This is awesome because Jim Brown, quite honestly, has an argument to be the best football player ever, regardless of college football, high school football, professional football. If you're taking all into account, you're going to have a hard time getting past Jim Brown. The one thing he doesn't have that should be on his doggone resume is a Heisman Trophy. Okay. This man, 1956, counted for 1,000 yards from scrimmage and averaged better than 6 yards per clip in an era when nobody threw the football. Okay? The Orangemen, his Orangemen, finished the season 7-1 in the Cotton Bowl. They lost the Cotton Bowl to Texas Christian, but he still won MVP because he was that cold. And he finished 5th in the Heisman voting. 1956 is the year that everybody got to write the Heisman off. Everybody got to say, all the Heisman voters, take a hike. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. All of y'all are Notre Dame fans. Every last one of you. You know how I know you're all Notre Dame fans? Because Paul Hornung won the Heisman Trophy that year, and he went to Notre Dame. Okay? I'm saying this to our associate producer, Tyler Wojak, and I'm saying it with my whole chest, okay? The man voters gave the Heisman Trophy to in 1956 threw 13 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. The man the Heisman voters gave the Heisman Trophy to in 1956 was on an Irish football team that finished 2-8. How hasn't anybody done to OJ and broke into his house and taken the Heisman Trophy from him and given it to Jim Brown? That's what I want to know. Why do y'all let this stand? Look, Paul Hornung ended up being a great NFL player, right? Make an argument, pretty doggone good at Notre Dame despite this 1 year. But that's Jim Brown's trophy. How does he finish 5th? Behind an offensive lineman from Oklahoma, I might add. 5th? Get out of here, man. Look, this is even at a time when the Heisman didn't consider HBCUs, okay? Integration is 14 years down the road. And Jim Brown showed up to Syracuse without a scholarship. Ended up being that dude. And because he was that dude, Ben Schwartwater went and got Ernie Davis, who ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. But that's also because everybody looked around at Jim Brown and said, dog, man, hopefully they don't remember this. Hopefully RJ doesn't remember this in 2022. Nah, I'm never going to forget it. Never going to forget it. And every Notre Dame fan can get it. You can get it with the Bush push. Okay? Okay? You can get it for all the years Brady Quinn was there. You owe so much. You got red in your ledger on this alone, let alone all these national championships y'all claim. I could be here all day dunking on Notre Dame, but, you know, shout out Marcus Freeman. We're going to see what it do in 2022. You know, we're gonna be there. It's a new day. It's a new day in South Bend. Ain't going to have no Paul Hornung's up there. I'm going to see to that. Shout out Chris Tyree. All right, now, I want to get to what y'all think. Who do you think should have or is the best player not to win the Heisman Trophy? Thanks for watching this video. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the #1 Ranked Show YouTube channel.